was excited I got my book. Got my
Sorry,
book the
say
other
again.
day.
Oh, you got your book. Yay. We sold another one just last night. Somebody who was local who was like, I was watching the Zoom recording and I want a copy of that custom socks book.
I like it.
There's a lot of really interesting information in there. That is for sure.
Yep.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see folks. Here we are, another Socktober Wednesday. So maybe we should remind each other of our names and where we're from and give a little sock progress update if anybody's up for that.
Sure.
Great.
I'm Jenny. I'm from Maplewood, New Jersey, and I just got started. Toe up, two at a time, afterthought heel.
Love it. And what's your yarn, Ginny?
La Bien Ami, Cashmere.
Nice.
So it's
Beautiful.
cute little flex.
Yeah.
You know, don't really know. Actually, look, 2 balls. Okay. Did the whole weighing it on the scale and everything like that. So yeah.
Great.
We shall
And
see.
do you have a favorite pattern that you're using for those toe up socks?
This is actually a new one. It's by Susan B. Anderson, and actually one from Craftsy, because I was looking for toe up, 2 at a time, etc. And I did another one with her a long time ago called How I Knit My Socks, and that came out pretty well. So I figured I'd give her another shot. And she, she's got the thing like that. I was either going to do that or there was one by Very Pink, but she had a lot of like, I don't know. I just didn't. I started looking at like I had to crochet to do the toe, and I was like, yeah, but Susan's thing is like you just jump into it and do Judy's magic cast on. So that's what I went for. And right now I'm an increased rows. So if I keep looking down, it's because I have to do a knit one front and back.
Great. Good. Good.
Keep going.
Awesome.
So I don't know if they will be ready by Rhinebeck, but that would be nice. Either that or I have to make myself some boot warmers because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to wear boots to Rhinebeck. If
it's actually supposed to rain that whole weekend.
Well, I live in New Jersey, which is not that far away from New York. And this weekend will be the 4th weekend in a row that it has rained.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about a half an hour from Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
And yes, I just emptied my rain gauge the other day. I had 4.5 inches in there.
Great.
Oh my gosh.
We went to the Boston College Army football game at Army last weekend.
I've
never been sat in so much rain. At halftime, I said to my husband, I'm out of here. And he and my son went to Boston College. They sat through till the last 7 minutes. And, the friends we were with all went back to the house they were staying at. And it was like, okay, well, that was a lot of fun. At least Boston College won. So.
Oh, good.
Jenny, what was the name? Mary, what? The socks.
I'm sorry?
Susan B. Anderson?
Yeah, Susan B. Anderson.
And that was a Craftsy class, did you say?
Yeah, but she has it on Ravelry too. It's My First Toe Up Socks, I think is the name of the pattern.
Cool. Okay. I will make sure to link that too, and maybe I'll find it on Ravelry and add it to our little collection over there.
Yeah, I was able to put it into Ravelry. Because I start my project there. And I also have put it into Knit Companion, but for some reason the link to the videos isn't working, but I can live. I can figure it out.
Cool. Anybody else want to pop in with a sock update?
I'm Gwen from the Mid-Hudson Valley area in New York State. My sock is growing a little bit in length, but not much because I was working on another project Actually, I got it at the Cashmere Goat. It was the poncho, the cow neck poncho. And
Yes.
I was doing really well with it. And then I looked at it again and I realized I had made a mistake about 49 rows back.
Oh, gosh.
So-
No.
I had to work on that and get that fixed before I could touch anything else. So progress is
And what-
slow, but it's getting there.
Well, show us the yarn that you're using for your poncho, because actually somebody was just buying yarn for that pattern today in the shop.
It's
Oh.
Kathmandu.
Yes, and so she was looking at kind of the sea glass color, so that looks like it's a charcoal.
Yep.
Nice. Oh,
Which
so
poncho pattern is it?
It's a poncho shawl.
yeah, what is the name of that pattern? I
I
might
have
have
it
to.
Let me look.
You have it up there. It's a really simple kind of simple pattern where it's like garter stitch up at the top, but basically it's two squares. And then you're joining at the shoulders and creating kind of a cowl neck. It's really pretty and like works up beautifully in that Kathmandu Aran.
It's called open-sided shawl collared poncho yarn Rockies, yarn along with Rockies.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep.
So I've done the church mouse yarn simple poncho, which is eternity. It's just very long and, a fine yarn, and it lasts forever, goes forever.
This one
is
knits
kind
up
of neat.
fast.
Yeah. Right. You go ahead, Gwen.
No, I was gonna say, if you don't make any mistakes, it goes by really quickly, but yeah, that was
And it was not a mistake that you could live with, eh?
oh no. And it bothered me. And I'm sure, I showed it to other people like, oh, I don't see it, but I knew it was there and
And
I
you,
was like,
yep,
had to take
it's
it out.
worth it. It's worth fixing when
Yep.
you know it's going to bug you.
Yep.
But that's a bummer. So socks are a little bit on the back burner, but that's okay.
Yep.
Anybody else want to weigh in on the sock check-in? Hi, Mary Ellen.
Hi, I'm moving along.
Look at you go.
Wow.
So pretty.
So
The
pretty.
heel.
Nice.
And I did put it back on the double pointed needles for the heel
Uh-huh.
because I can just do it so much faster and
Yeah,
I don't have to go look at a video.
right.
It's easier.
Yep.
And I did finish that baby sweater I was making.
Good.
It's the anchor.
Yay.
That's
That's
lovely.
so
Yeah.
pretty.
I think it's
Sweet.
the buttons that make it really.
Yes.
So dear.
Nice.
Love that. Nice. And your
Is it for
yarn, if I
someone
recall,
special?
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is your baby sweater for someone special?
It's for my niece. It's for her first baby, and she is a knitter. So
Ah.
had to make her something nice.
Mhm.
And she
That's
likes
sweet.
this anchor pattern. So I wanted to do that.
It's beautiful.
It's really pretty. And the yarn,
you.
is it reddish pink?
It is. It's called rhubarb.
Rhubarb.
great.
It's in the, pink. It's not as pink as it's showing up in this
Mm.
color
Is
here, but
is it vintage?
it is vintage.
Yeah.
It's vintage. And the color is rhubarb.
I love it.
I think it might be, I think the pattern calls for DK, but I think I used worsted because that's what I had. So, and I love the color. So I just did it. I don't know that the DK comes in the rhubarb color. They don't have as many colors in DK.
You're right about that.
Mhm.
You know, I was talking with a customer today about how it's not just, when you're choosing your yarn color, it's not just about what you want to wear if it's for you, it's about what makes you happy to knit with.
This made me so happy, and that's why I wanted it. That's why I bought it. I've knit a couple things with gray. I'm not really knitting with gray anymore. It's
No.
just
You're
I don't
taking the
blend
no
it.
gray pledge.
Yes, I am. Mm.
And I'm
Nice.
Judy. I'm Judy. I'm from New Hampshire, right over the border in the Lakes region. And remember, I had to tear my socks out. Well, we've now started again
Oh, pretty.
because I found,
Yay.
yes, and the yarn is, it's for, I'm using my double pointed needles and size 4. And the yarn is a alpaca. I fell in love with it. Well, I love alpaca. I love to work with alpaca. So it's a
Mhm.
soft yarn alpaca. And I got
So
it at
pretty.
the shop at the southern part of your state, which was called, can we remember, the shop down there in York Beach?
Oh, is it? Oh, shoot.
I
I'm
forgot.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank right now. My brain is just not
That-
with it right
Okay,
this
well,
minute.
that's where I got it. And first I made a shawl and everything, and now I'm on to the sock. Happy.
And what's your pattern that you're using?
I'm using that Yankee pattern, I think that we all talked about last week.
Yep. Oh, that's
But
yep.
that has, 3 different sides, that has, sport weight, medium weight, and worsted weight. Yeah.
Great, Judy. Well, thanks for checking in. Thanks for being here tonight.
And I also have been looking at, I don't know if any of you have seen, it's a woman called Nancy Bates. Do you have that book, the National Park Beanies?
Oh,
Yes, and she just came out with the California one,
And a
the Knitting
California one.
California book.
So I have the one I'm making, I can't remember, what is it for? You always have to have a few projects, right? Oh, dry tortugas I'm making, and it's pretty.
mhm.
And it's
Ooh.
the place, the
True.
national park is in Florida, off the Keys. And part of the reason I'm doing it is my son is a photographer, and he goes to all and that's his job, national parks at night, and he goes to all the national parks. So I guess I best get busy knitting. Yeah,
That's amazing. I love that that's your son's job.
it's a nice job, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
That it's a great job, and it's such a cool concept for a book. And when the Knitting California one came out last week, we had so much fun looking through it. I think I did a little reel maybe or a recording where I kind of browsed you through the book a little bit. If you look
Yeah.
at the social media for the goat, you might see it. And one of the hats that I found so charming was they had there was a hat that was the Pacific oh gosh, what's it called? It's the Pacific Highway. That's right. It's the Pacific
Okay.
Highway. And so the hat, definitely had kind of, they each one of the patterns comes with a photograph reference, and so it had definitely the colors. And then there was a little tiny button, a car-shaped button on what looked like a road that was like winding around the hat. It was charming.
Yes,
So
she does
cute.
send out some little national parks, like I have the little things that you can sew on that says what national park it is.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the way I found the book was I volunteer at the library and I cover books. So when the book came in, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I had to be the first one to take it home. And then, of course, I had to buy a pattern,
Of course.
Yeah.
Great. Well, does anybody else want to give us the update on their sock progress?
I've sort of missed I'm a little bit late, but I've made it through the heel.
Woo!
Wow.
That's
Look
good.
at you go.
It's nice.
And I debated and I looked at doing the same stitch, and I decided that probably best just to stick with the basic and get through that if I wanted to either redo it or just knit a little one over it. Because I was thinking, what I had read is that's a point of wearing out frequently. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just knit a whole nother sole over the whole sock. I don't know.
Oh,
Did anybody else do the continue with the heel flap stitch onto the
Oh, you mean for the base of your stitch, for your sock?
Yeah, for the heel. Did anybody do that? Or do you normally do that?
I don't think with the heel stitch where you're slipping and knitting and slipping and knitting, I've never continued that onto the bottom
Okay.
of my heel.
Okay.
That's not to say you shouldn't try it. You know, it's also really interesting too, because everybody's feet wears their socks a little bit differently too.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I would say that definitely was mentioned in the Knit Custom Socks book, and I've seen it elsewhere too, is, you know, the concept of negative ease in socks, which I definitely did not understand for many years as a sock knitter. But the reason for negative ease is you want a sock that really fits your foot relatively closely, and that because if it does fit a little looser, that's where you will often get wear. Yeah.
I heard an interesting thing in the video that for the sock that I'm doing, where she's doing the afterthought heel. And she said one of the things that's good about that is if your heel wears out, you can take out what you did and re-knit it.
Yep.
Pair it.
Okay, that's my solution.
I was like, well, that's an interesting thought. Of course,
Mhm.
you know, back in the old days, they had the egg and they would darn the socks, right? I mean, that's
Right,
grandmother, great grandmother would do. They didn't throw
right.
it away.
And darning is definitely coming back. I don't know if you guys are seeing that, but there's a lot of big movement towards, you know, mending again, and especially for folks who do knit. So lots of classes and workshops that I've seen like offered online and stuff, but I really don't love to darn or mend my knits, but I recognize.
Hello.
I learned from my grandmother.
Yes, I just got connected. I don't know how. Did she do something?
Oh, hi. Oh, hello. Is that Eileen?
Yes, I'm sorry. She
Eileen.
just called me. She's
How are you?
I've got your shop on the phone because I couldn't get in.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought maybe you fixed it.
Nope. And
I'm here to make sure Eileen got in.
Okay.
Apparently
she's
she
here.
did.
She did. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, I don't know why it's not. Oh, there. Hi, everybody, and this is my messy stock room. You can see it. I was just trying to make sure that Eileen got in, and it looks like she did.
I went
She
back and
did.
did it all again and it worked.
Awesome.
Sometimes that's a really good strategy. Yep. Going out and coming back.
Absolutely.
it.
All right. Have a great meeting. I'm gonna go back to knitting group here.
Bye.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
Happy
bye.
Socktober.
I lost connection and it took me a while to get back in. It said that nothing was responding, so I don't know what happened, but
Sometimes I feel like it's like I know there were some updates for Zoom that had to go in mine before I could get the Zoom meeting started. And yes, I would say definitely if you're ever having trouble with connecting, just always restart the computer is another hot tip, because that definitely sometimes comes into play. But sorry, we were talking about the afterthought heel and then
Mending.
places that, oh, darning, mending. Yes. So you know what
I
is
still
super-
have an egg and I still mend.
Right.
Awesome.
Well, we just got some what's called teeny weeny wool in the shop, and it is a fingering weight yarn ball that is like this big, maybe 2 inches high. They're $2.50 a piece, and they were coming tons of colors, so perfect for if you need a little pop of color in some kind of Fair Isle thing, or you want a little extra stripe in your sock, or for mending. And so teeny weeny wool, it's very cute. We have a whole beautiful display on one of our tables with all the little tiny yarn balls. Teresa, do you want to show us your sock?
I
maybe-
have to admit I haven't started yet.
Okay.
Running a little behind because I'm dog sitting for my parents right now, and so I'm trying to bang out a sweater for him while I have him here to
Oh.
try it on and stuff. So next week I will hopefully have a little something to show, but
So
right
wait, you're
now,
knitting a sweater for the dog?
yeah,
Is it are you working on it right now?
yeah, it's
Oh,
I just started it like yesterday, so
so cute.
gonna bang
What
that
kind
out.
kind of dog?
Hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
He's a Australian Labradoodle.
Oh,
That's
So,
the kind of dog
Oh
I
my
have
goodness.
too.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Probably keep us.
And so what are you using a pattern for his sweater?
Yeah, and I have no idea what it's called. Let's see.
Okay.
Lucky Dog Sweater.
Adorable. A lucky dog sweater. That's awesome. Well, no worries. We're glad you're here. And yeah, we'll be excited to see what you do with your sock next.
I have a
Let's
real
see.
quick question.
Yeah.
You have sort of like a cowl on. What is this that you have on?
Oh,
I am
It looks
Well,
very interesting.
before you got on the call, before we started recording, I spent a lot of time fussing with it because it's a new shawl that I just finished
Oh, it's a
watching.
shawl.
And
Okay,
it's
show us.
yes, so it is the Stephen West crosswalk shawl.
Okay.
And
West.
yep. And then it's got all these fun chevrons in it. I found it a really relaxing knit because it was very rhythmic, and each of the sections, I don't know how to describe it, but I think you'll know what I mean when I say, after a couple rows, you would have, you knew what to do without looking at your pattern every minute,
Oh, yeah.
just to sort of was easy to see in your knitting. So I will add that into the notes too. And it's a DK weight, so you're not knitting it forever.
That's even better.
Well, I see
Yeah,
that
no, it's very
Alice is
pretty.
here. Alice Smith, our friend and the designer of the Scudic Bay cardigan and so many other great designs. Hi, Alice.
Hi there.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. How are you?
We are good. Are you working on a sock or something else?
I'm always working on other things too, but I am working on a sock right now with Seven Sisters yarn.
Nice.
Design. I just cast on. Actually, I have the pattern in another bright color yarn, but I'm now making it in Karen's yarn.
Pink.
It is a hot pink, right? Look at all my secrets.
And is this your design, Alice? I didn't hear.
Yes, actually, yeah, it's going to be a new design that I have a draft of it, but it's not written up yet.
Okay, we'll have to wait for that.
A little bit. There are a lot of good sock patterns out there right now too. Yeah.
Awesome. Great to have you on.
Good to see
When I left knitting group today to come here, there was one person wearing her Scudic Bay, Issa, and there was one person working on her Scudic Bay. She got a little bit of later start, and so hers was actually, the person working on it was doing hers in like a white cream. It was really, really pretty.
Pretty. Very pretty. Yeah, I actually am just going to be sending out the test knit for the new design.
Nice.
And I think I saw you working on something.
Let me hold on. You hold that up. Keep holding it up because I'm spotlighting you right now. Oh, look at that. Oh, such good cable goodness.
Yeah. So it's just going off to test knitters.
Yay.
And I think I saw Iris was working on something that I'm thinking I'm pretty excited about.
I am. I have a sweater that is just, it's a pattern that I designed for myself because I had a very specific sweater in mind that I wanted to knit, and I wasn't seeing anything like it when I was trying to find somebody else's pattern. So I was like, well, I guess I have to figure this out myself. And so I did, and it's fun. It's like bulky yarn, and it's a raglan top down, and it has kind of like a oversized fit and a little drop hem. And every time I wear it, people are always like, what is that pattern? I want to knit it. And Alice really gave me some encouragement at our anniversary when I was wearing it. And so I thought, well, you know, geez, I did take a bunch of notes when I made it for myself. So maybe I need to first knit it again because it's been a couple of years, and make sure all of my notes still make sense to me. And also use a shop yarn, a yarn that we sell in the shop, and then try to get my pattern written so other people can make it. So I have it here. It's
good.
in a very, very cheerful yarn. So just be ready for it.
I'm ready, and I'm really looking forward to
Oh,
testing
nice.
it.
So it is
Oh,
this super fun, super, I don't know if it's Sesame Street or party yarn, but it's called Mystery by and so it's a chainette yarn that is a wool with a merino wool with a little bit of nylon. But I just want you to see, okay, here's the yarn, ready? And so you can see that it's the chain, but then it is like this squishy. It is so bouncy, and it is a delight and really fun. You know, like the balls, these are 2 balls of the same dot, but
Wow.
they, you know, just different ways that the balls are wound. So it's just really, really. So thanks for the
I think you're frozen.
let's see. Oh, am I back now?
Yes.
You're back now. It froze. It was so bright. It got a quick chill. But I'm very excited for that.
Yeah,
because I
for
have my
sure.
yarn. Now that I
Um,
just saw a peek of your yarn, I'm actually thinking that maybe it has to get graded for little ones too, Iris.
That could be very fun, right?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Someone
Everybody
did
wants
see
a
your
party
yarn.
sweater of all ages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, Bev, how are you doing today?
well, I got back from vacation late Wednesday, turned around and went on a quilt bus tour Thursday. Just got back from that. And I have 2 retreats coming up, starting not this weekend, but next weekend. So it's a bit busy. But I do have a question about, I've never knitted socks before, and I have a question. Do you recommend, like, I've heard of the magic loop method, and I see a number of people using 3 needles. And I was wondering what was best for somebody who's just learning to make socks, to knit socks.
I
My
mean,
question is, do you like magic loop?
I have no idea. I don't even know what it is.
Do you like
So-
double pointed needles?
Some days I have trouble handling 2 needles.
Yeah.
But when we were on the bus trip, I made sure I used circular so that if I dropped one, I could get it back easily.
mhm. I think to Alice's point, you know, it is a personal preference.
Okay.
And I know that I definitely learned on double points. But I think I gave all of my double points away, actually. I mean, I don't ever use them anymore because I found that they made me a little tense in my hands, and I just didn't like how they felt. But I know some people who are just so comfortable on them and they love it. And in fact, that Yankee knitter pattern that we all talk about, that has a really like very simple graphic where it shows you how to lay your stitches out on the 3 needles. But like once you've done it that way, it's so interesting because there's just any pattern that is sort of a beginner level pattern, you know, like my first toe up socks, for example, or whatever, is going to write that pattern as if you know, like are truly a beginner, never having made a toe up sock before. So the needle choice is really interesting. I mean, I think you just have to, if you don't if you like double points and you feel comfortable, like go for it. And maybe that won't be how you always do it, or maybe you'll love it forever.
There's these new needles that I got sucked into buying. But I still like the 3 needles better. These are 3 needles, but they have the center.
Mm.
And
Oh, that's
Mine is-
interesting.
Yeah,
They
you
like
only
flicks
have
or
2
something?
needles on your sock,
Mm-hmm.
and then you knit with this one.
Oh,
It-
that's really
is
cool.
that- is that a 9-inch needle?
No, I went to get the 9-inch because everybody was talking about them.
Yeah.
The 2 yarn shops here, neither one of them had them. They said that not enough people liked them. So I bought these. They had them in all sizes, but I wanted
Yeah, I
them.
think the tips are too long because you want you want the nylon part to be
Well, you don't,
fairly long and the tips to be short.
but you don't, when you knit with it, takes a little getting used to. But it you don't have the stitches just on the flexible part. They're
Right.
on
So
the-
Judy, what Eileen's showing you is that, or showing us is that, like, it's basically like, yeah, so you're using that 3rd needle as your active needle, and but the little tiny cord helps it be flexible, and that
Yeah.
short
Yeah.
circumference.
you
It's
can-
like if you use 2 circulars, because I've done it with 2 circulars,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2 socks at a time with 2 circulars. And it's just like they cut out the middle, right?
Yeah.
But I
That's
still
kinda
like
neat.
the old fashioned.
Yeah.
I always think I'm afraid of double points because I feel like my stitches are going to fall off
Mhm.
Yep.
if I put it down. And I
We
use,
went to the 8-inch double points.
Mm-hmm.
that's a good point.
And
Good.
that
No
way
pun intended.
it's, they don't fall off. And I like it because I can put my hand on it. It's, you're not all scrunched up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry, Bev, but we didn't really have a great answer for you. Is what it comes down. You know what would be fun though? Is it might be fun to, I'm trying to think of how this could be, but it might be a neat idea for some Socktober to have like a test drive to a couple different ways to have, make a sock, and you could have one sock on double points and one sock on a magic loop and one sock on a tiny one, and you could just have them available for people to just pick up and try it out another method if they're not sure, because I think it does take some getting used to, but we all have our faves that we grow into, I guess.
Has
So
anybody
my
tried that? Because I was researching this on the bus, and there was a technique where you knit both socks at the same time.
that's what Ginny's doing. Let me spotlight Ginny for you.
Oh, cool.
These are toe up, 2 at a time. And it's
And
all
so
it's on one magic loop.
You prefer starting at the toe as opposed to the
I have
top?
never done toe up. So
Okay.
this is, I listened to a podcast. Sorry, I'm dropping a stitch while I'm showing off. I listened to a podcast, Stacey Perry, Very Pink. She loves knitting socks, and they talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, somebody sent in a letter, why make socks? And they talked all about why make socks. And they said that to toe up, you can decide when, like, how, make sure it fits your foot, and then keep going up. And you know, like, you don't play yarn chicken as much, because if you start to run out of yarn, you can
Oh,
just
okay.
have a shorter sock. So, you know,
Mhm.
2 balls, I wound the yarn and then rewound. So each one was 55 ounces, I think. Grams. Yeah.
Great,
55
yeah.
ounces would be pretty heavy, right? Yeah, 55 grams. And this pattern, I mean, most people say you should swatch for socks, and this one is like, dive in. If it's bad, pull it out. I'm like, oh God, pull it out. If it's bad, find someone they'll fit.
Yeah.
Right?
Cool. Thank you.
So yeah, it's an adventure. I do my sleeves and trying to think anything else. I've always done sleeves both at the same time,
Mhm.
so that way I know they're the same length.
Wow,
And
cool.
so they I think the 2 at a time, they said something about second sock syndrome, right? Like you finally get one finished and you're like, oh God, I have to do that all over again. And same thing
Yep.
for me with sleeves, right?
Yes, I read about that too.
It's an amazing amount of information out there about socks, isn't there?
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, Bev, you sound super busy doing lots of fun fiber related things.
I'll be glad when it's early November and I can get back to doing what I want to do. So, I mean, and I love the retreats and I love all of that stuff, but the pace is just so hectic, and I retired to not have such a hectic pace. But, oh well, it's good. And it makes a lot of people happy, and that's what it's all about. So
Nice.
Do you teach at them or attend them?
I run them. I host them.
Oh wow,
On the Scudic Peninsula.
Alice.
Yeah, we should
And
do a knitting one. We should really do a knitting one. It's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, what is the facility?
It's part of Acadian National Park. On the quiet side, it's the Scudic Institute, which is the private arm. And and we come in on, say, a Sunday night, and then we would knit for 5 days straight, and I keep the room open from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. and no cooking, no cleaning. Just come and do what you want to do. Go for a walk, because we're right on Scudic Point, so you're half a mile from the point where it's the Atlantic Ocean and no bay, and it's incredibly beautiful. And the nice thing about knitting is you can take it anywhere. It's hard to take your sewing machine down on the rocks and work with it, but
Right.
you can definitely take your knitting down.
Well, this I didn't actually know, like when you talked about your retreats, I don't think I was clear about like the site and but so I assume there's a fee for using the facility and all of that stuff. So we might have to get in touch. We've been thinking about this.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to have you folks here. And I'd
Do
love
you-
to have Alice teach. I think maybe I should talk to Alice about teaching her new sweater after it comes back from the testers. There are a lot of knitters up here, lots of knitters.
Very
So, as you
cool.
well know. But cool.
So I'm working, this is how far I've gotten on my little, it looks like this funny little skinny shaped sock, but it's the Laine du Nord watercolor
Nice.
sock, I think it is. So it's gonna be getting darker and getting more into, like, the top of my sock will be a little more rich, so get light to dark. And I'm getting close to the point where I think I need to count my rows up so that I know when I need to start getting my heel underway. Where I'm at.
How do you like that yarn?
I really like it.
Okay, good, because I really like the yarn. I mean, some of the patterns and colors, I think they're great fun, but I'll try that maybe next. Wait, I have the other yarn. No, the third pair we have to go through.
Third pair. You're already planning your third. Love it.
Is it fingering?
Well,
Is it fingering weight?
Yep, it's fingering weight, and they're just coming out with some really great yarn designs, I think, that are super fun. There's one that we have in the shop that is a gradient on the foot, but then it moves into stripes as you go up the leg, which is kind of a cool one too.
Wow.
Best of both worlds. And what was neat is Kathy, who's worked in our shop, she makes tons of amazing knits and is a great sock knitter. And she does a top-down sock, and she had used some of that striped on the leg, gradient at the foot. And it's a yarn ball designed to make these two identical socks, etc. And what she was super happily surprised by is she got through the foot, and she's like down, and it started doing a contrast toe. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I was so excited when I saw the toe."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done the Regia yarn, the ones where you do the two identical socks
Mm-hmm.
and the same thing, like the heel, if you do it the way they tell you, and the toe are solid and the other parts are stripes. They were fun.
It makes me think about how they design that to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially
matter
with
what
all the
size you
different.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, how does it work where you're like programming the dyes and the factory? I don't know. Sounds really cool.
There's that Fair Isle yarn you make baby sweaters out
Right.
of. Same thing. How do they do that? Program it to make it look like Fair Isle.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see. I found this yarn last week when I was with a friend, and it's a chenille. It's called Yummy, and it's by King Cole. And I'm making a baby blanket. I don't know if you can see it
Hold on, I'm
Oh,
gonna
nice.
spotlight you. Oh wow. Oh
right
my
here.
gosh.
So it just knits like they're little roses.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's the softest chenille. So my niece,
And what size needle? It looks so big and bulky and squishy.
10, I think,
Mm.
10, which was a great relief after a sweater that I did that's like a Scandinavian that I think was a 3. So I was like, but I better hurry or this kid's gonna go to kindergarten. I mean, she was born like, it's like, oh, I'll make a blanket for her, oh, I'll make socks. Oh, I'll do another sweater.
Mhm.
What pattern did you use
Um,
for the blanket?
I'm trying to think. Wait a minute, let me think. I think I have my Ravelry open. Oh,
Ravelry is a very dangerous place.
Can't figure it out.
okay. So there's one in Ravelry. It's called a baby car seat blanket. And I think the woman who did it, let me see, baby car seat blanket. Kim Gainey, Gainey''. So it's basically just a rectangle, but she put a buttonhole in so that you could, where am I? Where's my zoom? No, that's not it. Nope, there we go. So she put a horizontal buttonhole in it about 8 inches from the bottom so that you could put it over the baby and put the car seat around. And I may or may not do the buttonhole. I don't, we'll figure that out. So that's, and I went, I think it was supposed to be cast on 62. I was like, oh, I'll do 72. Yeah, good. Make it bigger. Make it. So I bought 3 skeins. I don't know. I may have to go back and get more because it's about, I think I'll get about 9 inches out of a skein. So I think it needs to be, I think I probably need one or 2 more to make a good baby blanket.
Because I guess you're not supposed to put your kids in a coat or a snowsuit anymore when they're in their car seat. I mean, what?
What, better they should freeze, right? I mean, I'm sorry. Old lady over here, sorry.
Called a grandmother.
Yeah.
Why are you not supposed to put?
It,
Is anybody?
the harness of the seat, of the car
Okay.
seat isn't close enough. It was like, I think the likelihood of my child being really cold is greater than the likelihood of me being in a car accident, but.
Yeah, all the rules always change.
They do.
Wow.
Can tell we're all knitting socks because we're all like.
We're all looking down and have our little hands, right?
I have to show you my Stephen West ones that I'm just finishing.
Ooh, yes, I'm gonna spotlight you,
yes.
Eileen.
But and I had a problem that I solved. You'll laugh when you see my solution. This is the one that with the pattern.
Yes.
This thick
Oh.
stuff in here. And this was just way too big because you had it down here too.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it according to the instructions, and it's just way too big for me. And I don't. So my solution, I said, well, why don't I just eliminate that middle brick thing? And so I made it without.
Look at that.
So I just made this pattern and did everything else the same. Put
Oh
the,
my gosh, love it.
so
Cool.
that I'm just.
Wait, show the
finishing-
heel.
Show the
on
heel.
this one.
Show that we love that heel so much. We saw
Like,
it
oh,
last
yeah.
week. Yes.
I don't
Oh,
know,
that's so neat.
yeah. And I made that just like he said. I really liked it. 'Cause
Really
I
cute.
I love that heel.
Yeah. So I'm just about finished the second. I have lots of yarn left over, so I might create something else. Eat your heart out, Stephen West.
There we go. I thought that was such a clever heel design. I mean, it was really
Yeah.
just the very same little like slip stitch color
To get-
blips that you had
To
in
get
the,
those
in the,
little dots in there.
yep,
And even
just
the
like in-
toe is
Mhm.
different. I never
with
made a
that
toe.
texture.
I mean, this was right, but I don't know if you can see it. It's a pearl.
it's
just
like
a
a seed
different
stitch,
pattern.
right? It's a seed
Yeah.
stitch.
Yeah, it was different. So anyhow, that's what I did with my Stephen West. And
I
then
think
my other,
Stephen would I think Stephen would love that you're modifying it to make it fit your foot, Eileen.
yeah. And so I make socks just to always have one to carry around with me when you're waiting in line, waiting at the doctor's
Mhm.
office and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
So I always have something going sock wise. And this is the one that I made, and then the trim on the cardigan that we did, the twist.
Yep.
I thought, oh, I know how to do that because I had done it on these socks. It was all,
That's great. So cute. And that kind of ribbing makes for such a nice snug sock on your foot.
yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember. Am I misremembering Mary Ellen? Oh, maybe I can't remember if it was Mary Ellen or not, but I feel like somebody mentioned that they like to have like two socks going, one that's at an easy part. It was Mary Ellen. I can see her nodding. One at the easy part, one at a harder part.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I don't do the two at the same time, because it defeats my purpose of having something small to carry around. I thought, oh, I learned how to do it. I know I can do it, but I don't want to do it. I want to make one at a time.
I love that.
Who's a fan of toe
Well, I
versus cuff down?
I like cuff down.
like a toe up.
Okay.
When I learned to knit originally, when I was
And
a
the
teenager,
reason
my
why
cousin showed
sorry.
me on a sock.
Well, this is my first pair, so I don't know. This seems to be just fine. But I would like to try the bottom up, maybe after a couple more pairs, and I get to be better at it. Sometimes it's a little slow going, trying to understand everything and making it right. But I'm pretty happy with the end result so far.
Good.
I think what pushed me to try a toe up was that the part of the sock that always was my least favorite part was the picking up stitches along the side of the heel flap, and it just always seemed to be such a bugaboo for me. I think I'm a lot better now at picking up stitches. I understand it a lot better than when I was first knitting socks, but I really like a toe up sock now, and I think part of that is that I can turn the heel on the same needle that I've just knit along with. Oh, Alice, what do you want to say?
So the reason I'm making a sock pattern is not so much that I love making socks, but I've taught socks a few times, and I figured out a way to teach it that is less stressful than splitting your heel stitches and picking up the gusset and all of that. So the new pattern will have that sort of new way.
Cool.
Which maybe
Awesome.
we'll try to share. Is anybody at the cuff part now working toward the heel?
I've done the heel.
You've done your heel.
Yeah, I'm starting the gusset.
You're starting the gusset?
Yeah, that where you start putting it together or something. I don't know. I haven't started that yet. But my goal was to get the heel done by today. And I
good.
managed that. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And are you doing them on magic loop?
No, I'm a big fan of little needles. I did the Ramona. Did the Ramona with on the sleeves with the little. I tried magic loop, and then I tried the short needles, and then I decided this would be my choice. I seem to be more coordinated, more comfortable with just using. It took a little bit, and I mentioned it before. Where I went to buy them, they gave me on how to use them. She said it would take a little bit of time, and okay. You hear me? Because my things died.
Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so wait, where Eileen,
Okay.
will you show Alice your cool little needles? Alice,
I'm
I don't know if
sorry.
you saw these, but
And I'm
they're
in the
so
middle of
neat.
this, and I use them like I hold them like the regular double points.
Okay, just raise your knitting up a little bit. So they're like needle tips with a very short cord. I've never seen them.
I'll have to get the container. I don't know who makes them. Let me just get this to the, can you see?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Are they the flicks or flex it?
Flexi flips is what they're
Flexi
called.
flips?
Yeah, like this is hanging off the end, so it's flexing.
Yeah.
It takes a little getting used to. But I think the regular double points, since I learned on them, I have no problem with them. These.
I found for my hands, I would get cramps when I use the small needles, but that was just me.
No, I just keep moving.
That's great.
Let me just. There, and then. This just lets it flex, I guess.
Somehow it seems less stressful to me than double points. Even though it's sort of like what it is.
Well, I can do this one. You can tell me if my hands look more. With these are the 3 needles. There's the 4th. I've lost it. Here it is. I don't know if these are more, believe it or not, more comfortable for me, I think. I think I have better control. I'm so used to holding them that I'm not trying anything new. I'll go get the container, see if I can see who makes them.
Does anybody else have any questions or thoughts about sock making? We've got so many good tips here on this call, different techniques, so much fun.
Just really glad you're having Socktober, because it was like, I haven't done socks in a while. I was like, yeah, I think I need another pair of socks.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Did
made
you
by,
already do show and tell of all the socks, Iris?
We did do some show and tell. You might have missed it. Okay, so let's see. They're made by
Gackle. Or imported by them, made by Addie,
okay.
gackleknitting.com.
Yeah,
Make-
the Addie.
Here it is,
Mhm.
flexi tips,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they come in all sizes.
Mhm.
And I love
Cool.
the plastic container that they come in. You can-
Yeah.
Mhm. That's clever.
Yeah, these are,
So we have a last few minutes. Let's do like a, just so Alice can see our progress. Let's do a quick go round of our socks. So, maybe just when I call on you, if you want to hold up your sock and tell us your yarn, that would be great. So let's see. How about we start with Judy on the iPhone?
Okay,
I'm
hold
not-
on.
Okay.
I
Get
have
my label.
my sock that I had torn out and I did again. So I'm looking forward to working more vigorously this weekend. And my yarn is alpaca.
ooh,
Nice.
pretty.
It's very nice. Yep.
Let's see. Next up, let's have Mary Ellen Mulhern.
So
Beautiful.
The yarn is Regia Design Line, Arnie and Carlos.
Can you hold it up one more time? Oh, yeah,
Oh.
so pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah.
The yarn, yeah, that's so gorgeous. Love it. How about next we have Ginny.
Okay. So do a little baby toes. It
Baby
is
toes.
La Bien Amie, and it's a cash merino.
Nice.
So- I know I could be
Beautiful.
yours.
Okay, how about next Gwen?
I don't know what the yarn is. I didn't buy it. It was somebody, a friend of mine bought it and said she wasn't going to use it, so she gave it to me. But it's kind of a self-striping pattern, kind of.
Pretty.
Pretty.
Really pretty. Love it. How about next? We know Teresa's working on a dog sweater. Bev's been too busy because she's been quilting. How about, and we just saw Eileen, so that's great. Let's see, Judy Iserts. Want to hold yours up again?
Okay. No. Sock.
That's great. Yeah.
So pretty.
Nice.
And
Great.
Judy, just
And-
keep holding it up for me. It's so pretty. I want to take I'm gonna do a quick screenshot because it's so great. And this is your first sock. I just have to make sure everybody hears that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful. I got
Beautiful.
the picture.
Nice.
You can put it down now.
Okay.
Awesome.
This is it's Navia. And it's
Beautiful.
from the, it's a yarn from the, I forget, Faroe Islands.
Nice.
And it's called Aurora Borealis,
Nice.
Pretty.
which I think is a good name for it. Anyhow,
Yeah.
the only thing I have to say, it's a 3-ply and it does have a bit of a tendency to sort of separate. So you have to be sort of careful.
Oh,
Got it.
Yeah. And
All right, let's see. Next up, do we have one? And Alice told us that you're knitting in, is it Meridian?
I am. I'm actually using Karen's yarn. It's this really pretty teal green that I got at the Cashmere Goat, and it's actually on Magic Loop that I decided to go with. And this is my new design, which you'll be able to see better next time. And the colorway is Cyrillos.
Love that one.
So it's like super pretty, and I'm loving it. And it's got a little bit of a texture pattern, so I wanted something that was not too busy.
Perfect. And I think Kristen and I were just talking about we are due to get a big restock of On the Round, including Nimble Sock, And I think we are gonna get some new stuff from Karen of Seven Sisters. I'm not sure because she's so busy going to different fiber festivals right now, so I can't remember if we're getting more of her sock base or not right now. But
She's
we'll let
headed to
everybody know.
Rhinebeck, I think.
She is. She is. Yep. Well, here we are. We're at the top of the hour and another fast Socktober Wednesday in the books. So thanks for being here, and definitely look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on another Zoom. And yeah, happy knitting, everybody. Happy sock making.
Thank you.
So much. Good to see
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
you.
you.
Good to see everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.